Does your brain mess you up? You can't think your way out of biochemicals. Understanding mind body healing through somatic practices, David Korak. Let's go through these slides. Let's do a journey together and see how does this apply to us. These are slides created by AI, which is, I believe, just gathering information from all of us and putting it together really fast. So let's see what's right, what's wrong, what do we relate to, what can we learn? The science behind our biochemical responses. When we experience stress or trauma, our bodies initiate complex biochemical cascades that operate below conscious awareness. So, like, you're stressed, you're traumatized, and shit's happening on the inside, right? Physically, biochemically. These responses involve intricate neural pathways, hormone releases, cellular changes. The autonomic nervous system triggers fight, flight, freeze, flooding our system with stress chemicals like cortisol, adrenaline, norepinephrine, and this creates lasting physiological imprints. Okay, so are you somebody who has chronic fatigue, chronic pain, or any illness that you think might have manifested in your body from like triggering this fight or flight so many times in your life? This is what I believe happened in my case. Since I was a child, I would trigger that fight or flight so often, and by the time I got older, like I got sick, right, physically. And it makes sense, right? Because it's physical stuff happening when you experience this stress response. How stress hormones physically manifest. Cortisol effects. So flooding your system with cortisol can mess up your sleep, weaken your immune function, cause digestive issues, memory problems. Yeah, I probably have all of those. Physical manifestations of stress, hormones, tension in your muscles, right? We need to learn to relax. Sometimes we hold tension and we don't even know it. That's why I love breath work and other somatic practices because you get like a drop. I call it a drop. Like all of a sudden it's like you can feel it physically. It's awesome. Okay. Chronic inflammation, faster heart rate, or maybe different heart rate issues, shallow breathing. What's the emotional impact of stress, hormones, anxiety? Who can relate? Restlessness, mood fluctuations, emotional numbness, hypervigilance. I was thinking of a certain song there. There's a lyric that goes, "Who can relate?" Woo! It's ooh, Logic, I believe, and I think the song might be, is it 1-800 Logic or something? It's wonderful. It's reaching out to people who have suicidal thoughts, right? And kind of working with us, turning this around, speaking about it. I love this song. I should put this in the comments. Okay, so yeah, you could be, do you relate to like having anxiety, being restless, your mood going up and down, feeling numb emotionally, being hyper vigilant? You know, that's a big one, like constantly aware, like too aware, right, of everything around you, not able to relax. Like, do you struggle to relax? Limitations of cognitive approaches, rational thought. Like, you cannot fix your mind with your mind, right? I like to think of an iceberg where the tip above the water is the conscious mind. We could go like this. This is the tip. Um, but everything below the water is your subconscious and unconscious mind. So like we have to get into the subconscious to like rewire these neural pathways that these slides were mentioning, right? Rewire our programs, like be able to relax, understand what's happening, right? And change physically. That's why I love Soma breath or breath work in general, because we access our inner pharmacy, meaning we create, good chemicals and help ourselves physically from the inside out rather than take a pill, right? And I don't judge anything, like I have my thoughts, right? But like, um, Yeah, it's just you could do both, right? Rational thought alone can't override deeply embedded biochemical patterns. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? If you think about like these deeply embedded biochemical patterns, like these ruts, these neural pathways, these chemicals, and it becomes habit. Think about like when you bite your tongue and then you're more likely to bite it again. Like as you fire fight or flight, you're more likely, I mean, it's just a pattern, right? Like the littlest thing will set you off, right? um, Stored in our cellular memories. And do you think you could like override all of this physical stuff happening in the brain, the body, just by like, oh, I'm going to think better today? Like it's not enough, right? You got to get in there, get into the subconscious, get into the body. And I love breath work for this because breath is the one automated function in your body that you can also consciously control. It's just cool to think about, kind of like other systems in your body, your digestion, your circulation. You can't like stop the blood in your veins, right? The breath is just as automatic. Like if you don't think about it, you breathe, right? But you can hold your breath or mess with it or breathe in a rhythm or slow it down, speed it up, right? Yeah, gives us an in into our neurology, our autonomic nervous system, so that we can access this inner pharmacy. While cognitive therapy and mindfulness provide valuable insights, and they do, like for example, I like to free write my thoughts, and then I can see them in black and white. Oh, wow, look at all these terrible things I'm thinking, or things against myself, or negativity. And like just by thinking it, I didn't know, but somehow writing it, and I mean, without picking up your pen almost, like just write it without thinking. Right. You can trash it afterwards. Then you see it. That would be like a cognitive approach, right? You see your thoughts, you can talk back to them or write back to them as though like you were a parent or a friend. Like, what would you say to somebody else who was thinking those thoughts, right? So those things do have use, but they engage the prefrontal cortex, the thinking brain, and we want to get into the reptilian brain, the ancient brain, make friends with it. This is what we get into in Soma Breath. Yeah, reach out to me if you want to do like Soma Breath transformational coaching, Soma Breath 21-day awakening journey. I can't help but pitch that because I'm into that. So trauma and stress responses originate in deeper brain structures, deeper, more primitive. The reptilian brain is what we talk about in Soma Breath. It operates beyond conscious control. So you can't just think your way out of it, right? Your body's going to react. Like because your subconscious, again, think of the iceberg, processes way more information per second than your conscious mind, like a million to 40, something like that, bits of information per second or bytes. I forget if it's bits or bytes. Way more. Your subconscious is what's processing everything in your environment, right? So this explains why we can intellectually understand our triggers. I love this because like I'll get triggered and it'll be, yeah, like that primitive response, right? Fight or flight, whatever my behavioral patterns are, whatever yours are. And then as it passes and you get better, I can look back and I'm like, oh yeah, I understand. It's almost like I'm a different person. It's really like a different part taking over. So I don't want to go into parts work, but it really is like that. Okay, so we can intellectually understand our triggers, but still be overwhelmed when they activate our stress response system. Introduction to somatic practices. Soma meaning body. Somatic practices work directly with the body's wisdom. The body knows, right? Accessing the nervous system through physical awareness rather than mental analysis. Like, let's come away from this a little bit. It's a wonderful tool, right? But let's come into the body. Key principle, the body holds the trauma and capacity for healing. So that's cool. It holds both your trauma. Your body is holding your trauma and your body is holding your answers. You know, your body knows how to heal. So we need to let it. Body-based awareness techniques, breath work and movement. I love dance, in particular ecstatic dance, touch, and physical presence, as well as emotional presence. I did Isha Judd system for years where I would have presence while I would cry or move emotion, punch a pillow, whatever it was. And that presence, even over Zoom, was very, very healing. I had a client who told me like my presence was a really big deal, right? But yeah, for sure, touch, physical presence. I this year came into a place where I like really, really needed physical touch and finally asked for it. And yeah, I mean, and this can be, there's even things like cuddle therapists, there's like platonic touch, right? Um, okay, nervous system regulation, yeah, for sure. Breathwork as biochemical transformation, accessing the inner pharmacy is what we say in Soma breath. Vagus nerve activation. Deep conscious breathing stimulates the vagus nerve. So it's a myth that deep breathing is always best, though. Like in our Soma breath practice, we do rhythmic breathing. We bring in a lot of oxygen. It facilitates the breath holding portion, but like in your regular life, day to day, try to breathe as much as you can all through the nose, even when you're exercising, if you can, right? Even at night, you know, you could use tape over your mouth, as much as you can through the nose. And think of an athlete or super yogi. How do you imagine them breathing? Like it's slow, subtle, rhythmic, right? Not that many times per minute. Okay, so I'm just getting into some of our stuff now. So we can shift through our breath, the nervous system from sympathetic to parasympathetic dominance. Yep, that's what we do in soma breath. Oxygen and carbon dioxide balance, controlled breathing optimizes oxygen delivery, carbon dioxide levels. So carbon dioxide is not just a waste product of respiration, it's actually a healing gas. For example, it's a vasodilator, widening your blood vessels and veins, getting more blood flow to your brain, increased blood flow everywhere, right? So you have improved function everywhere. Even in medical clinics, they will like induce this, right? So we can do this with our breath much, much cheaper. Okay, so it directly influences pH balance, cellular function, and then hormonal regulation. Specific breathing can reduce cortisol production, so that's great, while increasing production of calming neurotransmitters like GABA and serotonin. Okay. The inner alchemy of somatic practices. Inner alchemy, transforming biochemical states through embodied awareness. So basically, if you're somebody who, you know, maybe you take psychiatric medication, maybe you have anxiety, maybe you have depression, whatever it is, right? Like, I'm not saying change anything like that. Maybe you go to a therapist, maybe, right? Cognitive therapy, whatever it is that you've tried, but nothing really is helping you really, right? Try something through the body. Try dance, try ecstatic dance, try breath work, try, you know, something that's not using your mind or trying to understand or rationalize, but like literally get into your body. You can do shaking, many, many things. Just Google somatic practices or reach out to me or David. Somatic practices create actual biochemical shifts. How does it do that? Rewires neural pathways through repetitive conscious movement, releases trapped emotions stored in muscle memory. So I have found in my body a point on the back of my head, top of my neck. I have to like feel around for it, right? Each time. And I find it and I press and it hurts, but it releases emotion sometimes. And many times, almost every time I find it, it does that drop for me where oh, right? So like, are you holding tension and you kind of don't even know? You're like hyper vigilant. If you're used to this, like many people are chronically stressed at a low level, right? Also, I've had the experience where I just focus on an area of pain and all of a sudden I'll cry. You know, not every time, right? But I have had that experience and it's really interesting. So some areas of pain can be caused by like a trapped emotion. Activating self-healing mechanisms through nervous system regulations, yeah, because your body knows how to heal. It's holding the trauma and also it knows how to heal, but it needs some help. We have to choose these somatic practices, right? And find one that you love. Like I love Soma breath, right? Lately I also love kirtan and singing and chanting along and you know, because then you'll do it. And then it's a joy, it's pleasurable, it's also healthy and helping you, right? Okay, create new cellular memories of safety and connection. Yeah, it's a lot about that. A lot. You need to feel safe physically, emotionally, being around the right people, right? Like this is something I love to do is create safety for people, like a container. And then personally, I also enjoy having that, seeking that out, feeling contained, right? From cortisol to connection. So we start with a stress response. That's what happens. Floods our body with cortisol, adrenaline. We get inflammation, and then we feel disconnected from ourself and also from others because those are connected. Like when I feel connected to me, my true self, my heart, my consciousness, then I connect with you and frickin' everyone, right? Somatic intervention. Try something physical, right? Breath work, movement, body awareness to interrupt the stress cycle. If you notice your thoughts going, it's really hard to stop that sometimes. Like, instead of trying, like, you don't have to, like, put on music, chant, right? Breathe. This will affect your breathing. Exercise, of course, and, you know, breath work, movement, all this stuff, ecstatic dance, shaking, right? Punching a pillow, you know, get into your body and your breath. Okay, biochemical shift. So by doing these things, we increase oxytocin, endorphins, dopamine, and then we can have self-compassion. That's a big one, I think, for a lot of people, not just me, right? Even yesterday, I looked in the mirror, did a little bit of mirror work. I had learned this cool exercise in a Platonic intro to Tantra class where we would partner with different people and look at their left eyeball, left eye to left eye. It was really interesting. Like without words, you could really connect with people, and each person was super different. Like one woman, we just started laughing. One man, oh my God. Like I think we both have a lot of sadness. Maybe. I don't know, but like cry, right? Another person, peace. I mean, it was really interesting. So I've been messing around with this. Even on Zoom. I'm like, does it work on Zoom? Like I always want to do this with people in person, but also like, does it work on Zoom? Does it work in the mirror with myself? And it kind of did yesterday. Like I connected with myself. I tried saying a facet or thought I had learned in each jut system. Love creates me in my perfection, or you can use whatever, right? God creates me in my perfection, and I connected instead of thinking, trying to change this. I connected, and I kind of talked to myself, right? Like I said something like to see what would trigger me because that would connect me. Like something had I had a clarity of thought and boom, it dropped me. Like I think it was I love you even though you're lying. Like right? And I started crying. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So the transformation as stress chemicals decrease and bonding hormones increase, we move from fear to love. So also in the comments, I'm going to post this song by Morchiba. It's like the line is like, fear can stop you loving, love can stop your fear. So it's true, right? We're in the sphere of fear. Try to say that. Sphere of fear, sphere of fear, sphere of fear. See if you can say that 10 times really fast. Or the sphere of love, right? And when we, oops, get into the fear sphere, let's get back over and try breath, try body work, try somatic practices. Real examples of somatic healing. This is actually what drew me into Soma breath because I was searching for help a few years ago with chronic fatigue, and I stumbled on one of Niraj Naik. He's the founder of Soma Breath's free breathwork meditations on YouTube, right? And in doing this, boom, I was on the ground crying. And it didn't feel like story or like dramatic, right? It felt like a somatic release. So I was interesting. I was interesting. I was instantly interested and dove right in. Yeah. Okay, PTSD recovery, veterans using breathwork and somatic experiencing show decreases in cortisol and improvements in sleep and improvements in emotional regulation. Cool. Chronic pain relief. Yep, I had some pain relief when I began breath work. And also, I love doing this certain chronic pain exercise with it that involves color because the subconscious, like I was saying, you need to get into. The language isn't words. The language of the subconscious is like feelings, right? And colors and visions. So yeah, I have this cool that I learned as a Soma breath practitioner, chronic pain exercise I like to take people through and I like to do myself to heal these areas of pain, right? My pain tends to be on my right side of the body. Patients with fibromyalgia practicing somatic movement report reduction in pain a lot, 40% reduction. They report decreased inflammation markers. Okay, after consistent practice for 12 weeks. Like you do need a consistent practice, right? But find something you like, you'll want to do it, right? It'll be maybe the best part of your life, right? Like everything comes from that. Okay, anxiety transformation. So breath work, Soma breath in particular, for me, I haven't really done a lot of the other kinds, has absolutely transformed my anxiety. I went from severely anxious to, it's not that I never struggle with anxiety, I absolutely still do. However, wow, is it worlds apart. Wow, are my abilities to socialize and work and, do all sorts of things vastly improved, like way less anxiety. It's so interesting. Like breathwork turns off something called the ego, not the default mode network, which is our ego. And people who have anxiety tend to have a really overactive. It's not your fault, right? Just an active default mode network where you're constantly thinking of how you're being perceived, right? You're hyper vigilant. This can come from a lot of things as well, like, how you were raised. I happen to have been born to my mom, who just, understandably from her childhood, right, is very fear-based. So, like, also I had that going. Like, I learned fear as well as having it, an overactive default mode network. Anyway, breathwork can turn off that ego, is basically what that is. So you like get relief. You guys, if you haven't tried it, you gotta try breathwork because it's such a relief. So I wish this for you, right? Individuals with chronic anxiety show improved heart rate variability. Yeah, that's a measure of health. That's the time between each heartbeat. And you actually don't want that to be like a metronome, exactly the same. You want there to be some variability in the length of time between heart rate or between heartbeats. Reduced panic episodes. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I'm speaking to those of you who have severe anxiety through regular nervous system regulation practices. And there's a wide variety you can choose from. Sample and see what appeals to you, see what you enjoy so that you'll want to do it. Practical tools for daily integration. Morning reset. 5-minute body scan upon waking to assess nervous system state, set attention, full regulation. So, for example, I woke up this morning negative. My thoughts were not good, right? And guess what helped me? It was putting on music. It's kirtan. It was Mula Mantra is one that I love. I think her name on Spotify is Tina Malia, maybe. That's what got through to me. That's what changed me was, and because it is somatic, because I love it. It makes me sing and chant. It changes my breath. It's connecting me to my body. That's what worked for me this morning. It was not trying to think my way out of it, right? Spinning, 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 put on this, sing, chant. That's what helped me. Breath breaks. Box breathing, 4444 throughout the day to interrupt stress and reset biochemistry. Yeah, I mean, restart your day at any point of the day. I like to do longer exhale. So, like, breathe in a rhythm with a longer exhale. So, 2-4, breathing in through the nose for 2, out for 4 through the mouth, or 3-6, or 4-8. This is what we do in Soma breath. One thing, just that longer exhale helps you relax. You can count it out yourself. You could be in a bathroom stall, right, and secretly doing this if you need to. You could do it in front of people without them knowing. Just do it kind of counting in your head. Movement medicine, gentle shaking or stretching to release tension and metabolize stress hormones. So try shaking, try dance, try just put on music, see what music will connect with you and make you move. Um, yeah, I do notice I need to stretch today, so that's will be my intention. Get things flowing, right? Okay. Evening integration, progressive muscle relaxation before bed to signal safety to the nervous system and promote restorative sleep. Yeah, so sleep is a tough one. Do you struggle with sleep? I like to use various tracks that we have in Soma Breath. So whether it's Yoga Nidra or there's this amazing like hypnosis thing called Mind Restorer. I love using that one. It's so interesting because as I listen to that, there's a lot of talking in the beginning, but very specific, right? And relaxing. And at some point I'm like, that drop, that drop. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, try some of these things and see, like, do you drop at a certain point, right? Like turn this off. Yeah. Oh, that's the last slide. Hey guys, if you made it to the end, I appreciate you greatly. Please share your thoughts and feelings and whatever. I want to hear absolutely anything, okay? I just want to engage with you. Have a wonderful day. Love you.